I think it's super important to give 100% of your attention to whoever's in front of you. End of story. Now, in this particular situation, this was yesterday. The ironic thing was the phone call that was coming through was not important, but like my phone kept buzzing. And the guy who I was sitting with, he's like, man, you can take that. And he said that. And I just picked up and I said like, hey, I'm going to call you back. And then I made sure to put my phone out of like sight so that if it went off again, there wouldn't be any issue with it. But if I'm talking to somebody and they're texting, I can tell when somebody's like got 90% of their attention, and I'll just be like, hey, I'm just going to wait. And then they kind of get the point, because I can tell whatever I say, they're not even going to understand because they're already in that. So I think it's super rude to take a call or anything like that. Now, look, I'm not saying if somebody's going to the hospital or there's an emergency, don't pick up your phone, right? Everybody's understanding of that. But in especially face-to-face meetings. And I think I've had conversations with people before, or where they were doing tours with another agent, and it's the same thing. Like they're picking up calls and pose that they're looking busy. And I don't necessarily think that is very attractive to someone. It's cool to be busy, but am I going to be like your fifth priority, sixth priority?
I do the same. When I'm face-to-face with somebody, I actually don't even take my phone out of my purse. I'd have my phone on silent, so there's no sound and there's no vibrate, and I leave it in my purse and I just leave it there. And I really had to brainwash myself that it was okay to sit at a 1 hour meeting and not be attached to whatever else is going on. If I know I have a busy day, I'll set the expectation for a client who I know I'm supposed to be in touch with, or if we're under contract, and I'll just say, hey, I'd have a back-to-back day. So if it takes me a little while to get back to you, that's why. I'm just always trying to set that. And it works sometimes and sometimes it doesn't, but it just makes me feel better that I at least communicated it. I actually stopped clicking over. I don't click over. I think probably stopped in like 2021. I stopped clicking over because I noticed that when people do it to me, I think it's so rude. And the only time I do take my phone out of my purse in a face-to-face meeting is if I'm like waiting for a counteroffer or the inspection request, or there's like a timely thing that's part of the transaction that I have to be available for. I will take my phone out, which is such a distraction now because I'm not used to having it. And I will say, I'm really sorry. I am waiting for somebody to call about a really important deadline in my transaction. So I have to keep my phone out and I have to take the call. Again, I'm trying to set the expectation that I'm not going to sit here on my phone. I just have one person that I'm waiting for.